Reeling under the immense pressure from India and the global terror financing watchdog, the FATF, Pakistan has once again staged a new theatrics in one of its so-called anti-terrorism court. Following the sham arrest of Hafiz Saeed last week, Imran Khan government has now been forced to arrest 26/11 Mumbai terror attack mastermind Zakiur Rehman Lakhvi for terror financing. However, the observers have termed it a farce. They call it Islamabad's another tactical move aimed at building up its case before the Financial Action Task Force that has kept it in its grey list since 2018.
Mumbai attack mastermind and Lashkar-e-Taiba's operations commander Zakiur Rehman Lakhvi has once again been falsely paraded by his masters in Pakistan. Nearly 5 years after he was released on bail in the 26/11 Mumbai attacks case, Lakhvi was arrested in Pakistan by its counter-terrorism department amidst growing global pressure on Islamabad to bring terror leaders residing in the country to justice. He was allegedly running a dispensary using funds collected for terrorism financing and further using those funds for personal expenses and terrorism. However, this move by Pakistan is nothing but eyewash to fool the international community as it comes just ahead of meetings of the global watchdog Financial Action Task Force in January and February, which will consider Pakistan's grey list status.
The arrest of Lakhvi by the Pakistani authorities is certainly an attempt to fool the FATF. Now, the next FATF hearing is going to be held in February, and Pakistan is desperate to get out of the grey list. India, on the other hand, feels that adequate work has not been done by Pakistan and they should be put on the blacklist, but that blacklist is not going to happen. And the possibilities are that Pakistan will either remain on the grey list or be taken off the grey list.
Zakiur Rehman Lakhvi has been enjoying VIP treatment from Pakistan's establishment since the time he was released in 2015. Even the time he spent in a Pakistani jail was just a sham, as he had access to all facilities, held his meetings with people from outside, and had even fathered a child while at the Adiala jail in Rawalpindi. Pakistan's duplicity doesn't end here. In December, Imran Khan's government pleaded before United Nations Security Council on behalf of Lakhvi. The UNSC, on request of the Pakistani government, allowed the payment of 1.5 lakh Pakistani rupees to Lakhvi every month. Pakistan claimed that Lakhvi needed this amount for his personal expenses. However, it is well understood that access to finance is aimed at smoothing out the terror activities commanded by these terror leaders.
What had happened was that certain bank accounts had been closed by Pakistan and by the international authorities. Now the Pakistani authorities wanted some payment to be made because these are accounts which were being controlled by Lakhvi, and they put up a statement that this person requires it for his personal use. Now, actually, all this is simply a facade because it shows in very clear terms the hypocrisy of the Pakistani state when it comes to dealing with terrorism. Organizations like the Lashkar-e-Taiba have been sponsored and set up by the Pakistani state.
The UN-designated terrorist was behind the 26/11 Mumbai massacre when Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorists from Pakistan created mayhem in the city on his direction. However, Pakistan has not only maintained silence over his involvement but has worked overtime to conceal his role in the bloodshed. David Coleman Headley, a Pakistani-American spy who conspired in plotting the attack, admitted before US authorities that Lakhvi was the planner and the facilitator of 26/11 attacks. Moreover, Ajmal Kasab, the lone gunman captured in India, also named Lakhvi as his handler. Another culprit of Mumbai attacks, Abu Jundal, also conceded that Lakhvi was giving directions to 10 heavily armed terrorists operating in Mumbai. India's dossiers to Pakistan also establish his role in providing money and logistics to carry out the Mumbai massacre. However, Pakistan has turned a blind eye towards all the pieces of evidence against Lakhvi.
After the Mumbai attacks, every single bit of proof was given to the Pakistani authorities, which very, very clearly indicated the involvement of both Hafiz Saeed and Lakhvi. Now, it is not simply a question of oral evidence. There is technical evidence to support these claims, but Pakistan has refused to accept any of this. So there is total hypocrisy on the part of Pakistan when it deals with terrorism.
Whenever Pakistan has faced a decision on its grey list status, it has carried out similar actions that appear to be aimed more at ensuring a better outcome for itself at the FATF. Its arrest and conviction of Hafiz Saeed and other Lashkar-e-Taiba leaders in terror financing cases, the passing of anti-terrorism and money laundering laws in Pakistan Assembly to bring them in line with FATF-mandated international norms, and the publication of new lists of terrorists at various times, all timed before FATF reviews of Pakistan's status. And now, Lakhvi's arrest narrates the same story. But will this arrest lead to real indictment and prosecution? Or is it yet another bogus move to get away with any serious action by terror financing watchdog FATF in future? Only time will tell.